You messed with me pretty bad on the last one with the Star Wars names, so this one was directly inspired from that one.
Episode 142, we got a lot to get into. Welcome to Talk About Tatooine. I'm Andrew.
I'm Nathan.
And we are twin brothers here to bring you what's new in nerddom and give colorful commentary on our favorite subjects. Welcome to our cantina. Grab a drink and settle in as we set course for realities beyond our own.
Welcome everybody to episode 142. Today's recording date is January 28th, and this episode will be released on Monday, February 2nd. Hit that like and subscribe and join the Silly Goose Brigade.
Doesn't matter if you've been in the fandom for 10 years or 10 seconds, we are really happy you're here.
Andrew, we had a little bit of fun in our Patreon pre-episode, as we kind of always do, where we get a little bit of unhinged and things, but I may or may not have had a bone to pick with you about Arc Raiders, and you thought it necessary to bring it up in the episode because I'm a genius, and it was a good point. Tell the listeners about what my great point was.
Yeah, I totally blew it because last week in Arc Raiders, I bragged about like there's a bunch of really good, efficient ways to get money in Arc Raiders, and I then proceeded to not tell you guys.
not specifically like, hey, these are the ways and things you should be selling and cultivating and gooping.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Here are the three things that I think you should be crafting and selling in Arc Raiders to make a ton of money really quick. The first one is energy ammo. If you can get energy ammo, it's really easy to craft and it's a really good value to sell. The second one is plant matter. So anytime you see the Lush Blooms event, go crazy. Open up the map and go crazy. And the third one is guns. So the thing is you do not need 1,000 guns. If you've ever watched Burnt Peanut, he has too many. He should sell some of those or recycle some of them. I try to keep a maximum of 2 copies of the guns I like the best, fully upgraded in my stash, and everything else gets recycled and sold.
I like that. That's a good idea.
Another Arc Raiders tip that I really need to hammer home. If you are not doing this in Arc Raiders, you are at a disadvantage. You need to go to the app, metaforge.app, and go to the Arc Raiders section, and it has interactive maps where everything, literally everything, can be turned on or off as an overlay onto a map of any map in Arc Raiders. So if you, for example, want to know where the new chimneys are in Bird City, just turn on the Bird City tag and it will just show you where these are. Need to know where all the buried caches are in an event? Turn them on. Use the map. Metaforge.app. Guys, if you aren't using this, you are falling behind. He's taking notes.
What I'm actually doing is I am making a new bookmark so I can remember this. We're going to go to...
You're like, that is a crazy thing. Wow.
It's going into personal. There we go. Bam. Yeah, guides, maps, and tools for Arc Raiders. Damn.
Not to mention, it also mentions when the next events are going to start. So if you log on and there's no events and you don't really know what's coming next after like the next hour, you can go to the events tab and see when the Matriarch is going to come back, when the Harvester is going to come back, when Bird City's coming back. Dude, I am swimming in rubber ducks right now.
Dude, they have a how to find the locations of every blueprint in Arc Raiders, and I'm like, I might be stealing some of this information.
They also have all of the quest information. So if you like don't know where to go for a quest, just turn it on and it will show you where to go.
That's insane. I really want to spend more time on there because that's super cool. And I need more blueprints because being able to just craft things is way better than buying them.
Correct, brother.
Oh, yes, brother.
Not to rattle on and not give you a chance to speak, but I actually have 2 different items for our reminder to read a book. Reading is cool. Wow, that sounded really unconvincing. Reading is cool, I promise. It's so fun, and it's good for you. I'm going through Jurassic Park right now, and dude, the kids in Jurassic Park are so much worse in the book than they are in the movie. They're so freaking stupid. The girl, Lex, she is like purposely written to get on the reader's nerves in the book, and they really toned that down in the movie, and I'm actually really thankful because she is a dumbass little idiot the entire time. Like at one point in the book, they are floating away on a river in a raft, and they're trying to get past a sleeping T-Rex, and she starts coughing because she quote unquote had a little tickle in her throat. And it's like, girl, you tamp that down right now. I'm shocked the main character didn't just like clock her. Because I was like, dude,
we're pushing you off the boat.
And then she like starts arguing with her brother because she's like, why? It's not really a problem. There's a T-Rex 20 yards away, and she is arguing, like petty ass arguing with her brother while a massive creature is sleeping next to him, and they wake it up. And then she has the gall to say, oh, well, the Tyrannosaurus can't even swim. Yeah, they can. Dude, you don't know anything about dinosaurs. And then the brother, who knows a lot about dinosaurs, he basically was like, bitch, what are you doing? Shut up. Because she's immediately proved wrong. Because the dinosaur just like looks up, sees the kids in the raft, and is like, all right, I'm going for a swim, and chases them. And I'm like, girl, you are so dumb. It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Michael Crichton actually has like a couple axes to grind in this book. He like weirdly rags on engineers and scientists in the book because like the engineers and scientists created Jurassic Park. But like I would actually pretty strongly argue that the fatal flaws of Jurassic Park were because rich people just kept pushing the project forward and didn't listen to the people who were advising on the project, who were the scientists and engineers. And also, like, yeah, there's a couple other things, but like Michael Crichton, like, hates intellectuals. It seems like he hates intellectuals based on the characters of like Malcolm, who also isn't an intellectual. So it's weird because like you kind of assume that an author puts their own beliefs into the mouths of their characters, right?
There's going to be some sort of bias that is hard to completely remove from your own writing.
Yeah, and like he's like weirdly biased, I think, against the wrong people, because I like science and I have a lot of respect for people who are like science creators on YouTube, but also, and here's the thing, have high ethical standards. Because that's like, and really what he's arguing against is low morality people and people who choose money over what is ethically correct. And he's like, oh, well, that's just what scientists do. And it's like, no, that is what corrupt people do. Like, like, of course, a man who is corrupt, in this case, John Hammond, who only cares about money. He doesn't actually really care about dinosaurs. He is going to hire people that align with his ethical whatever, his ethics, his biases. And yeah, things go poorly because of that. Like, I'm like, Michael Crichton, what are you doing, man? Like, I love this story and I love dinosaurs, but I'm like, what are you talking about sometimes? Yeah, it's a great book. But it just goes to show not every book is just a winner through and through. What do you read?
Dude, I just got into the third book in the Red Rising series. I'm in deep right now.
Deeper than Darrow inside of that table.
Inside of the table?
Wait, how far into the book are you?
I'm looking that up right now because I'm in Morningstar right now, book number 3.
Yeah,
into a table. Oh, because he's in the cave. Yeah, he's in the hole. Is that what you're referring to?
That's like a marble dining room table is the way I understood it.
Yes. Yeah. People were eating like 20 feet above him or 20 meters or whatever. It's a lot of torture and you shouldn't do those things to a human being. No, I am much past that part. I thought he like did something weird and got thrown onto a table or something. And I was like, brother, this is way too obscure. And it was just me being dumb.
Yeah, it was just you being dumb. But
shut up. You didn't need to. You didn't have to agree with me. Boo.
I did. Okay, on a serious note, though, let's see. Yesterday, January 27th, was International Holocaust Remembrance Day, which marks the liberation of the Auschwitz-Birkenau concentration camp on January 27th, 1945. My local library has kindly curated 3 lists of books and documentaries to spread the knowledge of these events over 80 years later. The list of people who were alive during 1945 is incredibly small and is shortening every day. So it's more important, now more than ever, that we continue to teach about these events so that they are never repeated. With Trump's racist anti-immigration policies, many of his quotes and those of his admin are directly mimicking Nazi rhetoric from the 1930s and the 1940s Germany and a lot of Klan talking points. Documentaries from the Jewish Holocaust category include Nat Geo's Anne Frank's Holocaust, Define the Nazis, and The Number on Great Grandpa's Arm. Books recognizing the pushback against the Nazis in Remembering the Resistance, that's the category, include The Girl Bandits of the Warsaw Ghetto, Resistance, and Defiance, which was also made into a movie starring Daniel Craig. It's one of my favorite movies, and it will make you so sad. The final category is aptly named Never Again, which is about teaching children and teens about the Holocaust, which include books like Stars of Night, Survivors of the Holocaust, and Can Posters Kill? Those who tell you that these events aren't real are at best ignorant and at worst dangerous, if and when they seek to implement their nationalistic agenda. Read a gosh darn book.
Yeah, please read, guys. There's a reason that most of our favorite stories that we gravitate towards of the fight between good and evil mirror things that actually happen. I mean, we've been seeing a lot of this, and this has been going on a lot, and I want to take a little bit of time that this will kind of like transition us into kind of more of our main serious topic for today, is that there's a lot of people online that are very upset with a lot of nerds because they can't tell when shit has finally hit the fan. They can't tell who the stormtroopers are and who the rebels are. And you said it really well, is in Star Wars, we side with the rebels. That's easy. We side with the resistance. In every book, you're always siding with the people, not the fascist organization. And now it's actually happening. And people are like, well, you should just comply. Or, well, he shouldn't have had a gun. Or she shouldn't have tried to run that officer over. And you get all these things, and I'm like, don't you guys realize what is going on right here? Like, what is going on right now? This is crazy. And it's those same people who love all these fandoms, and yet the reality of like those stories are happening, and people do not understand which side they should be on.
I literally saw a social media post where someone said something along the lines of, let me explain it to you clearly, liberals. Han Solo is ICE and Greedo is the protesters. And I nearly had an aneurysm. I didn't reply. I didn't do anything. I think I told you about it.
Because that's straight rage bait. That person is either deeply unserious, or if they do believe that, they are not to be taken seriously and should, again, those are sympathizers. Those are people that are garnering positive will towards a regime that seeks to oppress the people. And those people are going to suffer social, probably not criminal consequences, but probably social consequences when this all finally turns around.
Yeah, and the thing is what is happening is the people who are sympathizing with ICE, who are terrible, immoral, unethical people, are trying to somehow justify that they are still on the side of the rebellion, because the rebellion is clear enough that they are the good guys, that these idiots can still understand at least that. And they're trying to say, oh, well, I side with ICE. I'm a good guy. Therefore, ICE are the rebels. And it's like, you are so stupid. You're so dumb. And to those people, they are either being intentionally insincere or they're beyond stupid. And so I think there's enough people who are being intentionally insincere that they are persuading the people who don't know better into thinking that that is the truth. And that is really like the basis of the anti-immigration stance in this country, is people are being convinced that these people are worse than they actually are.
Absolutely. I think just as a general reminder, everyone should go back and rewatch Andor season 2. And Andor season 1 and 2, because they're both great, but specifically season 2, because what you see on Gorman is happening right now. And I remember watching that and being so filled with like dread, but also I loved that story so much because I thought it was just really, really well told. It was fantastic. But like, your Deidre Merrow is your Kristi Noem. Your director, which I can't remember his name, is Greg Bovino, who thankfully just got fired somehow because I don't know how he did, but he got fired yesterday. He was the dude that was walking around in the SS-style trench coat in Minneapolis.
Yeah. He looks like a Nazi. He talks like a Nazi. He's a Nazi.
Oh, 100%. Crazy, which, again, there's like finally some stuff. So like, for example, CBS News is saying that some of the agents involved in the Alex Preddy shooting have been placed on administrative leave, not fired, administrative leave, which also means that they will probably not face consequences. They will get back pay, and they are currently taking a mandatory vacation. So, a little bit of a slap on the wrist there, because again, the president has said that they have total immunity, which they do not. That is not how that works, but that is also how our system works, because we operate under a system that uses the it's like the total unitary theory, I think it is. I think I'm butchering that, but it's essentially that like the president should be empowered to be a dictator if he or she, well, probably never she at this rate, chooses. So unitary executive theory is what that is. Sorry, it was in my brain and then it left my brain.
It got there.
And we got there eventually. But that's kind of what we're dealing with right now. I just want to say, like, we've said this on the podcast before, almost ironically, but like, because we really tried not to be political. But this is 142 episodes in. What did I say? Yeah, 142. You guys know where we stand on things by this point. We don't have a lot of listeners to this podcast. So if you are listening to this point, thanks. We appreciate you. But we don't need people listening to us who are pieces of shit. We don't need that. Our goal here has always been to bring people together through our love of the fandoms. We've always said that people who are gatekeepers need to get out. Those people who have been toxic fans need to get out. Andrew, you mentioned that in last week's episode about how a lot of male fans address female actors in the fandom, which is super toxic. And honestly, our official stance on this is screw Trump, screw ICE, and honestly, to be a little bit more specific, screw every single Second Amendment bootlicker who has been just championing the rights for people to have as many guns as they want, flying their "Don't Tread on Me" flags on their house, their trucks, or whatever. And then when the treading starts happening, they've excused it with the weakest responses possible.
And like, the thing is these folks, especially the people who are now backpedaling on their like, the Second Amendment is like super important. It's the most like critical one of our amendments. And now they're like, well, you should just like listen to the state. It's like, who has historically always done the treading? It is the state. Always. So to see these people backpedal and just like about face and honestly kiss the administration's ass so hard that they now all have pink eye, like it's horrifying to see. They're terrible people and they need to immediately change their ways and apologize at the bare minimum, right? It is not too late to turn away from being a piece of crap, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. You can always, there's always a chance to do the right thing, but there's also people who we know will never do the right thing. And that is sad. That bums me out. I know some of those people, and they think that what is happening right now is the best thing since sliced bread. And let me tell you what, even the folks, like some of the people I work with are like getting fired up about this. And these are not people who get fired up easily about politics. They're just kind of like, whatever, it doesn't matter who's in office. They're all terrible, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I get that. But like, that is a lazy attitude because one party definitely wants more good for the people than the other.
And one party wants a lot more bad than the people. It's like when I see MAGA women, and it's like, Trump hates you, right? Like,
yeah,
they hate you, and they want to take away your right to vote, like you specifically. And why are you licking their boots? I don't understand.
He wants you to be dumb, pregnant, and unvoting. Like, that is their goal. And they're voting for that. And they're like, this is the best. I'm like, you are literally voting for the patriarchy that is stepping on your rights. That you guys, like, less than 100 years ago, got the right to vote. When did women get the right to vote? God, I feel like I should know this. It was like the 19th Amendment, right?
Don't quiz me on this. I didn't pass that AP test.
19th Amendment. Okay, hold on. Is all. There we go. Denying the right to vote to citizens on the basis of sex, which passed in 1920. So it was 106 years ago that passed. So women have had the right to vote for just over a century, and they, on this pace, are probably going to vote it out as soon as they can.
Yeah, and they've been mad about it the entire time.
Some women, right? Because most women are like, hey, us voting is fantastic because they were able to make their own lives better.
I should say the MAGA folks have been mad about it the whole time. They've gone by different names. They start I think their most recent iteration, or like when they're the genesis of that movement, it started with Reagan. Like, there was remnants that weren't really, like, they were here and there. They were kind of divided, but like Reagan started it all because all of his policies were like racist dog whistles, and yeah, he was a bad person.
Trickle down economics can trickle down these nuts. Am I right? Got him. I don't have too much to say other than I agree with Andrew, and you should read a book. You should speak out against fascism, and you should be nice to people. Do we want to bump into some nerddom stuff? Kind of cheer the people up. Yeah. Because we also have a bunch of trivia to do today, too.
This is true. Let's talk a little bit about Maul Shadow Lord. We got some more news. I think the trailer came out like a day after our episode came out, and I was like, great. Awesome.
Yeah. There are some, so like basically going from our episode where we talked about Darth Maul, there are some rumors of female Twi'lek appearance, pink-skinned, not red-skinned like Darth Talon, but the internet is already littered with ultra clickbait about the return of Darth Talon. I think this is icky, that people are like, this Twi'lek is going to be Darth Talon.
Well, and we predicted this 30 weeks ago that it wasn't going to be, and the trailer confirmed that. So we were right. Because I said, and this is a direct quote from our episodes from episode 112, my prediction is there's no way it's Darth Talon. She was Old Republic, and even though she was Legends, I don't think we have ever seen a character taken from one Legends era and placed into another different canon era. There is zero precedent for doing that, and I don't think it does Darth Talon's character justice. Also, I don't really like that her thing is just she wears barely any clothes and she's like hypersexualized. I don't like that. That's why it's icky if people are making that like draw, because they're like, hey, the current character, the Twi'lek Jedi survivor's name is Devin Izera, and is a key character who becomes an unlikely ally and potential apprentice to Darth Maul. That is what the internet is saying. That is according to Wikipedia. Padawan, she is a child. So for them to immediately jump to be like, the child is going to become every like Star Wars like fans' wet dream of a sexy Sith Lord, I'm like, hey man, not a super cash money jump to make. Maybe you don't assume that about children on TV. Yeah, and I don't think under the leadership of Dave Filoni, we are going to see characters that are hypersexualized. It seems like he respects women, and that's a good thing. Like, I shouldn't even have to clarify that, but respecting and treating women as equals is a good thing.
I was working on
the internet so much.
I was working on some of the clips that we took, I think from episode 140, where you were talking about how Rey got a lot of heat, mostly for being a woman, for being a woman, and I have.
She is plural.
She
woman.
is woman. She is mother. That's a funny SNL.
I am Legion.
That's an SNL quote right there from Maya Rudolph. Anyways, and we basically were like, hey, Star Wars has a toxic fan problem. And I mean toxic, I mean icky, and like misogynist. Straight up. We have a problem.
And I'm not even saying it's the majority, but if you have 10 pairs of socks in a drawer and one of them was dipped in shit water, you're gonna make a fuss about it. And that's what we're doing. So if you're a cool Star Wars fan, thank you. I appreciate it. And if you're one of the crappy shit dipped fans, be better. Be better. Treat people like you want to be treated, and maybe just shut up a little bit. Just a little bit. Like talk like 20% less. That's it.
No. Talk like 80% less.
One of the things we talked about a little bit, and it actually kind of looked like this, that we were going back to Coruscant, which I was like, how though? Like, how is Maul going to survive on Coruscant? Well, it's not Coruscant. We are going to a planet called Janix, and here is what the writers for Maul Shadowlord have to say. It's 1 part Gotham, 1 part Metropolis, and 100% Star Wars, with all these different levels and layers. Oh, that is a perfect definition. That is a perfect setting for this show. I love it.
Nathan is aggressively lip biting over here.
Did you knock your headphones off?
I just lip bit my own headphones off my head, yeah. Crushing it.
So I should mention that this is during the reign of the Empire era of Star Wars. On the official Star Wars site, there's actually an eras tab, and it begins and ends with 2 eras that literally have no content. The first one is Dawn of the Jedi, and the last one is the New Jedi Order. So I'm hoping those are the first things Filoni starts dipping into. I also kind of just wish Star Wars would pick like one era for a while and stick with it. I think that would be nice. And they tried doing that a little bit with the High Republic as far as books go, but that didn't really pan out into any movies whatsoever. It panned out into one show that really split the fan base, and the books, I don't think, got a ton of attention because the only thing people thought about with the High Republic was the Acolyte, which they didn't like, but a lot of the books are really good.
I really enjoyed the books. I'm actually working on going through the New Jedi Order books from Legends, and I'm like 2/3 of the way through Vector Prime, and it's a heartbreaking book.
In Legends, I don't know if you guys know this, Chewbacca is killed pretty gruesomely. A moon gets dropped on him, and he definitely dies while trying to save the Solo children. Devastating. It's one of the few times I've cried while reading a book.
Well, and it's really hard to deal with Han Solo's grief in the moment because he kind of sides with the grief of his friend over the safety of his child, and that's a really hard pill to swallow.
Yeah, it's not a great moment for him being a dad. It's hard. And you see how that like creates a rift between him and his kids that already was there a little bit, and it starts to really widen at a time where the galaxy is about to be like torn to pieces because the Yuzon Vong are probably the most existential threat we ever see in the Legends novels.
Yeah, 100%. Like even greater than some of the Sith Empires. They did so much damage so quickly. It's pretty wild.
What were some other things in the Maul Shadowlord trailer that stuck out to you?
I mean, for me, it was like really going through, and I was at first I didn't realize it was animated at first, which I'm not mad about, because I think we can get more Star Wars content quicker if it's animated. Just because I know animation takes a long time, but it also takes less time than doing live action stuff, and there's gripes when it comes to things being turned into live action. So sorry. But I didn't realize that the first time. I really enjoyed it. I was trying to figure out where they were at, because at first I did think they were on Coruscant, and so I was like, wait, where are they? Like, where is this happening? I understood that this was going to be after the Rise of the Empire. And so, like, I was looking for the connections for Solo. Like, hey, how is this going to turn into his criminal empire? Like, I'm super excited to see this because, that's where he's going in all of this. But also, we're going to eventually see, like, there is a gap from Star Wars Solo, a Star Wars story, into Rebels, where Maul is two fundamentally different characters, and this is essentially breaching that gap, where in one, he is the leader of, is it the Crimson Dawn?
I believe so, but I think Shadow Lord is before Solo, a Star Wars story. It actually says it picks up after the events of the Clone Wars. I think he is going to get embroiled into Crimson Dawn as a part of this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is I think this is going to lead into his time as a criminal kingpin and could potentially go as far as his fall from that position, because we then find him back on the temple where he encounters Ezra and Kanan.
Yeah, because when he's on or underneath the surface of Malachor in that like Sith temple, he seems to be like a hermit. Like he seems to be all alone. He's like acting like he's stranded, or not acting. He is stranded. And like through his encounters with Ezra, tempting Ezra with the dark side and manipulating the Ghost Crew, he's able to escape that planet. It's such a great arc. Star Wars Rebels is one of the best Star Wars shows we have. Like between animation and live action, Rebels is in probably my top 5.
It's fantastic. I love Rebels. I usually end up watching it, rewatching it maybe once a year, maybe a little bit less often, but it's up there.
It's one of the few Star Wars shows I have on Blu-ray. One ad break to rule them all, one news page to find them, one place to read them all, and in the darkness bind them. We are at a pivotal moment in our democracy as Americans. Knowing who is trying to influence you is a huge part of navigating the media landscape and knowing what is true and what isn't. With the rise of more advanced generative AI, things are only going to get more cloudy and more difficult to navigate. Check out our sponsor for this week, Ground News, where you can check all of these things as far as who owns news sites, where they lean, where their biases are coming from, and if you sign up for their subscription with the link down in our description, you're going to help support the podcast as well.
Greetings, my caffeine queens and kings. As by royal decree, I do bequeath upon my subjects the gift of the magic bean. This glorious potion will bring us to victory. I have ordered the storehouses open and Javi coffee concentrate to be consumed post-haste. For all your coffee needs this season, Javi is for you. Need a last-minute stocking stuffer? Javi has multiple products alongside their flagship coffee concentrates, including protein powders, coffee syrups, collagen syrups, and, well, that's about it, but that covers quite a lot. Tuck into some holiday flavors like s'mores, peppermint mocha, or sugar cookie. Use this code on screen to support us on the podcast, as well as get a discount on your next order. Javi is ultra convenient, ultra versatile, ethically sourced, and has a tremendous variety and an excellent shelf life. Now, my lords and ladies, back to the show.
We wanted to talk about Kathleen Kennedy in the new era of Star Wars, specifically how Kathleen Kennedy is now not a part of the Star Wars team anymore. She has been replaced by Dave Filoni, which is sort of old news now, but we want to talk about kind of her legacy and what we can expect moving forward. Nathan, it's probably fair to say that most of the Star Wars fandom does not like Kathleen Kennedy.
I was spaced on the wrong page there. Whoops. Yes, because some of the more notable projects that she has been involved in has been Star Wars The Force Awakens, Star Wars The Last Jedi, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, and let me see, where's the other one? And Solo, A Star Wars Story. 4 of the more lackluster Star Wars movies. However, a little bit of credit to her. She was involved in The Mandalorian and Grogu, Star Wars Starfighter, so we'll see if those are any good, but also Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, which was fantastic. So, but overall, not swinging super well on these.
Yeah, I actually want to play a little game with you. So, creating a more objective take on a person that I think a lot of people have subjective thoughts on, I think is really important. So I'm going to go through a list of Kathleen Kennedy's filmography that she's been a producer at some level on, and I want you to give me an answer of yes, no, or neutral. And then I also want you to write down how many of each you had.
All right, I'm going to take you off push to talk so I can write at the same time. Yes, no, and neutral. Hit me, brother.
All right, so I'm just going to say the name of the movie, and you're going to say whether or not you liked it. So yes, whether if you didn't like it, no, or if you neutral, hadn't seen it, or you just didn't care for it. All right, Jurassic Park.
Yes.
I would also say yes. Twister.
Neutral, because I haven't seen it.
Yes, for me. I loved Twister. Jurassic Park 3.
Yes.
I would also say yes. I really love all the Jurassic Park movies. Also, sorry, these aren't in order. They're in order chronologically, but also separated from where she was a producer, executive producer, or associate producer, and if it was TV. I literally copied and pasted it from the Wikipedia page, and then I took off a lot of the films that I knew neither of us had seen. So I tried to distill it to the stuff we have experience with. I think that's fair. All right. Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Neutral.
I would also say neutral. Rogue One: A Star Wars Story.
Smash.
Actually, that would have been way funnier. Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
No.
I'm going to also say no. Solo: A Star Wars Story.
No.
I said neutral. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker.
Yes.
I said no.
Ooh, okay.
Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
Neutral. Never seen it.
I'd also say neutral. I like the Indiana Jones movies. I thought it was better than the Crystal Skull, but also I thought Indy should have retired. We're going to skip Mandalorian and Grogu and Starfighter because those haven't come out. Those are probably going to be yeses, though.
Probably going to be yeses. Yep.
Yeah, she's going to get producer credits for those, just FYI. Schindler's List.
You're going to hate me for saying this, but I've never seen it.
I haven't either. I know I need to. I'm really sorry, guys. The Lost World, Jurassic Park. This is technically the second one.
Oh, yes.
100%. I'm a yes. Signs.
Scared the shit out of me, so yeah, it succeeded. Yes.
I was going to bully you if you said no.
I had a lot of nightmares from that one.
In a loving way. It's a good, it's fun. I still watch it sometimes. It's fun. Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
No.
Yeah, I'm going to put a big old no for me. The Last Airbender, the 2010 one.
Is that the movie?
Yeah.
Never seen it.
I said no. It's terrible. I DNF'd it.
Yeah, it's...
It is an atrocity to that IP.
I heard it was on the same level of what Aragon did to that series.
It is. Actually, now that I think about it, I did finish it. It's terrible. I hate it. I hate it so much. Okay. Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yes. Arguably the best Indiana Jones movie.
Temple of Doom.
Oh, this movie scared... this movie gave me nightmares, but I really like it, so... Yes.
I said no. I don't like the Temple of Doom. I understand a lot of people do. It's not for me.
It's kind of a gross movie.
It grosses me out big time. I am typically very relieved when they escape. But yeah, a lot of childhood trauma wrapped up in that one. So that's going to be a no for me. The Last Crusade.
Definitely yes.
Definitely yes. That's correct. Mandalorian.
Of course, yes.
Yeah. The Book of Boba Fett.
I really enjoyed Book of Boba Fett, and I know other people did not, but I did.
I hated the Book of Boba Fett. I really, really don't like it.
More for me.
That's okay. Yeah. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
No.
I'm going to say neutral.
One of my biggest things of whether or not I think that, something is good is my want and need to rewatch it, and I've never rewatched Kenobi.
I feel the same way. I've never felt even an ounce of wanting to rewatch it. I don't think it was bad, but it wasn't for me. Light and Magic.
What is Light and Magic?
It's a documentary about Skywalker Sound and Lucasfilm.
Oh, neutral. I've never seen it.
I only watched part of it. I'm going to say neutral. It's fine. It's kind of a documentary. It's not my thing. Andor.
No.
Well, I put you down as yes. So
I did put yes. You like, well, your own opinion's wrong, so.
Willow.
Never seen it.
I said no. I didn't really like it. I also didn't see the original, so the remake, it was fine. It was not really the whimsy I was looking for. Ahsoka.
Yes.
I also said yes. The Acolyte.
Yes.
I'm neutral. Again, I didn't hate it, but I also don't really want to rewatch it. And if the only parts I want to rewatch is the second half. So
That's fair.
we're almost done. Skeleton Crew.
No.
I would also say no. I didn't really like it. Wasn't for me.
Yep.
I don't really understand why the pirate didn't waste those kids. That's a little heartless, but that's where I'm at.
Yeah, that's where we're at, folks. Well, I mean, I'm looking at mine, and I have 3 times as many yeses than I do no, so I guess I like Kathleen Kennedy. If that was the purpose of your game, I'm assuming.
Well, let's look at it this way. So I tallied a total of 25 yeses, 14 nos, and 13 neutrals between the two of us. So that is roughly 50% yeses and 50% no or indifferent. Actually, a little bit more. It's 25-27 if you add up the nos and the neutrals. Because the mark of a good filmmaker is you want to rewatch it, right?
Yeah.
And I think Star Wars fans deserve better than a 50-50 split.
If it was a class grade, it would be an F.
Yeah, and the thing is there are some real bangers in there. Most of the Indiana Jones movies are cinematic perfection. And a lot of these Star Wars movies are pivotal to literally this entire podcast.
Yeah, a little bit,
you know?
little bit.
And I can't go without saying that she actually founded Amblin Entertainment, which created the Jurassic Park movies, if I'm not mistaken. Oh Lord, I pressed the wrong button. It was founded by Steven Spielberg, Kathleen Kennedy, and Frank Marshall in 1980. So without her, we would be without, I would say, two of the best film franchises of all time, Star Wars and Jurassic Park. Yeah, not all of the Jurassic Park movies are winners. Like some of the Jurassic World stuff, I don't, for some reason, she wasn't a producer for those, according to the Wikipedia page that I sloppily copied and pasted. I liked them. I didn't think they were terrible. I like dinosaurs, and I'm not afraid to say it.
I was going to say I have a hard time hating on the Jurassic Park movies because dinosaurs are fun.
A criticism of Kathleen Kennedy in Star Wars that I absolutely will not tolerate, and I won't stomach it, is the fact that the movies that she made were woke garbage. I think if you say something is woke as a criticism, I think that is a lazy way of criticizing the movie. And it makes you, the person, sound stupid, because something being woke as a bad thing makes you seem awful and terrible and like you don't know what you're talking about. Like especially in the current political climate, woke is just like a catch-all term for things that are vaguely related to liberalism, the Democratic Party, whatever. What it literally means is to be awake and aware of the things that are going on around you. Specifically, social injustice. So
didn't that start in the civil rights movement?
Yeah. So if you say something is woke and you mean it bad as a bad thing, you are saying, I think social injustice is good and right, and that makes you a bad person. And also that's just the new Mary Sue cop-out. It's a misogynistic, racist dog whistle. And if you complain about a movie being woke, you are not critically thinking. You're just mad that a woman or a person of color is in the movie. That's what you're saying. You're thinly veiling your racism and your misogyny. And I won't have it. I think you suck if you do that. But it's not too late to just stop saying things like that, right?
Your opinions have the ability to change.
Yes, you can change. You can choose to be a more understanding and kind person. To say it in the cheesiest way possible, you have the opportunity to turn back to the light side. You don't have to be a dick. And We talked about this a lot in Andor because people see the archetypes of the Empire as evil, and there are legitimately people in the Star Wars fandom that think that like stormtroopers are like not terrible, which is a little wild to me. And that's something we saw in Andor, which was a constant theme, is every single person in the Empire is evil and corrupt from the very top to the very bottom. Like, anytime any one of these people saw an opportunity to better themselves at the detriment of the people around them, they took it. Every single time, with very few exceptions. And the only exceptions we really see were the people who ended up being rebels and turncoats. Like,
because they developed a
really
conscience and they were like, I can't do this anymore. And all of that is usually done under the guise of wanting to maintain law and order. And I'm like, law and order for who, though? Like, come on.
Yeah, for who, though?
You're going to say the quiet part
it's not
out
for
loud?
everyone.
Do it. You won't. Except now they will, and they have, so.
Yeah, so while I personally do not like Kathleen Kennedy, it is by no means on the grounds that she is a woman or she has made movies with women characters in it, right? That is a stupid, silly argument. We just went through her entire filmography, and based on whether or not we liked these movies, about 50% of them we said we liked, and about 50% of them we said we either didn't like or were neutral about. That is a more objective take and a more objective perspective on her legacy as a producer inside of Lucasfilm and the Star Wars movies, and then some others for, a larger sample size.
Absolutely.
So I hope that's helpful for you guys. Like, we got to move on to the next topic. My notes say we're going to talk about robot slurs.
Do we have time to go into that with being 51 minutes into the episode?
We should move into lore or legends.
Okay. All right, folks, it is time to go through into lore or legends, where Andrew and I are going to basically play two truths and a lie, but we're talking about nerdy stuff. So we're going to give each other a couple of items, and it is up to the opposing player to guess which item is false or labeled as legends. Let's get into it. Andrew, are you ready for your first item?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so in my first of three, because you were told me I needed to bring three for this one, so that way I could make amends for me not being able to read in the last episode. The theme for this first one is science fiction alcohol. Item number 1. Corellian brandy, a deep amber colored spirit, was first introduced in Timothy Zahn's novel Dark Force Rising. This brandy was also used in the drink called a Nova Blaster that was actually made in a centrifuge. Item number 2. Many of the spirits featured in the Halo books are similar to what you might see today with mentions of whiskey, vodka, ale, beer, and wine, and all making various appearances across multiple titles. Item number 3. In Warhammer 40k, Amasek is a high-end amber spirit that is well known to be derived from many local grains across the galaxy. The spirit would often be able to be consumed by higher-ranking officers and members of the Inquisition due to its price.
This is a hard one. I think you're going to get me with this one. What was the second one? Was it Halo?
Yes, the second one is many spirits featured in the Halo books are similar to what you might see in today's spirits market, mentioning of whiskey, vodka, ale, beer, and wine.
Yeah, I have no idea about that. I have no clue. Couldn't tell you one way or the other. I think you made a mistake on number 1. And Amasek, I know, is from the Warhammer universe. But I think you said in your clue for number 1, which is going to be my official answer, you called it Corellian brandy, and it's supposed to be Corellian whiskey.
Is that your final answer?
That is my final answer, number 1.
All right, let's go through these really quick. So item number 2, the Halo one. Absolutely true. We are only taking place 500 years in the future. There are some other spirits across the galaxy that are introduced in that, but a lot of the times the humans still drinking the same stuff. Item number 1, it is Corellian brandy. So you did
really?
Yes. There might be Corellian whiskey, but Corellian brandy is a specific spirit referenced in this. You gonna fact check me?
Oh, Corellian brandy was created by Timothy Zahn. You know what I'm thinking of? Corellian whiskey is mentioned in the the X-Wing novels, which were written by Michael Stackpole, so not Timothy Zahn. So I'm guessing it's the third one that's actually incorrect. You said it was an expensive liquor. It's actually an inexpensive one. Everyone drank it.
Yes, 100%.
Frick!
Yeah, pretty much. And I have an explanation that I need to open up. So item number 3, which was the Warhammer 40k, Amasec was actually a general term given to alcohol spirits of a huge variety of quality and price. It is not uncommon for low-ranking soldiers to drink the spirit, but for it to be confiscated by the officers so they could drink it themselves.
Yeah, I got bogged down in the details. I think if I had paid attention to Timothy Zahn, because I was just like, oh yeah, he was a Star Wars writer in the 90s that I really like. Like, I think it's that one, because Corellian whiskey is also made into like rice gate, which is a Corellian dessert, and that was on the mind. But again, not in the Timothy Zahn novels. So
there you go. I've officially updated your score to 5-1.
Great. All right, I got one for you. Lore or legends, 2 truths and a lie. We're going to talk about dreadnoughts, the 40k kind, which are Space Marines entombed in a walking suit of invincible armor. Number 1. Before the introduction of new patterns of dreadnoughts in 8th edition, the classic dreadnought was significantly shorter but still extremely deadly. In the RTS Classic Dawn of War, you could fire the dreadnoughts through the orbital relay.
Okay.
Number 2. With the introduction of the Primaris Marines came a new wave of dreadnoughts. Like the Redemptor variant comes with 2 fixed ranged options, the missile launcher on one arm and a las cannon on the other. Number 3. The Brutalis Dreadnought is a special flavor of crazy with special close combat options, including talons and melta-guns on its chest hardpoints.
I actually think you were giving me a softball in this one. It's absolutely item number 2. You were describing the Ballistus Dreadnought, not the Redemptor Dreadnought, which comes with 1 ranged option and a Redemptor fist.
Is that your final answer?
Don't look at me like that. Yes, it's my final answer.
Yeah, you freaking got it. You totally got it.
Your poker face sucks. Let's go, folks. I'm up to 4-2. All right, my score is updated. Good one, brother.
You're totally right. My poker face does suck. I need to wear a full face covering anytime I play poker.
Let's do it. All right. The theme for my second lore legends is going to be magics. Item number 1. In Mass Effect, biotics have the ability to control and manipulate Mass Effect fields through the use of biotic amps that allow any user to take the implant and be trained with it. Item number 2. In the Mistborn series, burning metals helps certain allomancers to obtain specific powers. Some metals can be burned in their pure form while others are burned in alloys. In this universe, burning an alloy of tin, antimony, silver, and copper might grant regenerative abilities to some. Item number 3. In the inheritance cycle, magic is based on the use of words and the conservation of energy. The spellcaster can accidentally hurt themselves by using a word of power on an immovable object, depleting their own energy reserves in an attempt to complete the task.
Okay, so it is the first and third one are correct. The legend in this case is the second one. You mentioned a couple alloys that provide regenerative effects, but it's gold that regenerates. Because in the second trilogy, the reason one of the characters is so hard to kill is because he is able to burn gold and also has gold mines. So he's essentially able to take massive amounts of damage and heal really, really quickly.
That is not correct, brother. So
what?
So you're referring to the character from the Alloy of Law book. So he has allomancy and he has ferrochemy. So ferrochemy allows him to basically store all of those stats. So here's the thing: the alloy that I specifically mentioned was actually all of the different metals that make up pewter, because pewter gives you the ability to like regenerate and heal yourself.
I thought pewter made you just stronger.
It increases all of your physical abilities, which includes wound healing. Because in many times throughout the book, Vin heals very quickly because she is able to burn pewter in her sleep to recover from near mortal wounds. And I kind of tricked you up on that one because instead of just putting pewter, I actually looked up what pewter is made of, and then I listed all the metals in pewter instead of just labeling it pewter.
You're an ass. That was so hard.
Okay, so do you want to know which one was the legend?
Yeah.
So
sure.
Number 1 is the legend. So I mentioned that biotics have the ability to control and manipulate Mass Effect fields through the use of bionic amps that allow any user to take the implant and be trained with it.
suck. Most people cannot survive like the implanting of biotic amps, or like it's just totally inert. There's very few people who can actually become biotics. You suck.
That is part of the answer, yes, and it is also because of the presence of embedded element 0 within the host tissue that is only amplified by the implants and the amps. But if somebody was not exposed to element 0, they cannot be a biotic.
I would like to point out that the ferrochemical ability for gold allows you to store health. And that's where I got cut up.
Yes, but I was referencing the allomantic ability for regeneration.
Yeah, I know that's different.
You knew what you were talking about, though. You were not wrong. You got the item wrong, but you were not wrong.
The giving me the base metals that create pewter was devious.
Hey, you messed with me pretty bad on the last one with the Star Wars names, so this one was directly inspired from that one. Yeah. Just saying.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to update your score. 5-2.
5-2, and you're
4-2.
4-2. All right, well, this could tie it up. Lore or Legends, Two Truths and a Lie. This one is about Warhammer launch editions. In the 8th edition, Space Marines faced off against the Death Guard in Dark Imperium and saw the return of Rabute Gilliman, ushering in a new age for the Imperium with the help of Archmagos Belisarius Call. The second one, in 9th edition, in the Indomitus box, we saw the Necrons emerge from their tomb worlds only to be faced with the new brand of Space Marine, now with 16% more brother, the Primaris Space Marines. And finally, the third one, 10th edition saw the return of High Fleet Leviathan, pitting the Tyranids against, you guessed it, the Space Marines. In 10th edition, we saw the elimination of the Psychic phase, and we also saw the launch of Space Marine 2.
Oh my god. So here's a problem. I don't think I started playing Warhammer until 9th edition.
Yeah, same.
Crap. Okay, so because of that,
make your guess.
I'm gonna go with the first item because I don't think the Death Watch were involved. I can't remember if
Death Guard.
Death Guard. Oh, ooh.
It was the Death Guard. It faced off against the Death Guard in Dark Imperium.
No, I'm gonna keep that because Mortarion and Rabute Gilliman both coming out at the same time. Feels like they reintroduced Primarchs. Did they reintroduce Primarchs in 8th edition or 9th edition? I don't know. I'm still gonna go with item number 1. That's such a hard question.
You're incorrect, brother.
Why am I incorrect? Please tell me.
Because the Primaris Space Marines were introduced in 8th edition, not 9th edition. I actually even put in that Archmagos Belisarius Call shows up in the lore of 8th edition specifically for that reason. I thought I was giving it to you by saying that.
Nope, I'm not.
Got him.
My timelines are. I'm not up to date on my timelines. I guess I'm not a real Warhammer fan.
That was incredibly difficult.
Well, you just said you were giving it to me, so which one is it?
Sorry.
It was, I thought I really had it for you, but you still fucked it up, brother.
Because in my head, I was thinking, he's going to associate the return of Gilliman with Belisarius Call with the Primaris update.
Now that you're saying that is a very clear chain of events, and I should have gotten that.
Sorry. Also not sorry.
Yep, that's fair.
You're at 4-3.
Okay, my third and final lore legends of the day. The theme is strange superpowers. Item number 1. In the X-Men, Spike has the ability to be spiky. Not really much else. Just don't give him a hug. Item number 2. Khonshu possesses the power of Pamnesia, the power to remember and recall absolutely everything one thinks, feels, encounters, and experiences. This allows him to remember the night sky of a specific night to allow Steven and Layla to find Amit's tomb. Item number 3. In the Suicide Squad, Polka Dot Man has the ability to throw explosive polka dots at his enemies. He gained his powers when the particle accelerator at Star Labs exploded, turning him into a metahuman.
From last to first, the third one, I am almost 100% positive that this is lore. Because I remember that from the Suicide Squad movie. He's played by the same actor who does... No, I'm thinking of a different person. Never mind.
Okay.
Then the second one, I also think is true because I vaguely remember that from the Moon Knight. I'm not 100% positive. And the thing, I have to guess Spike because I don't know who that is.
So Spike is the character from that one X-Men movie, and all of his... he just has spikes come out of his skin. I can't. I'm trying to think of something else to tell you without just like giving it away, whether or not it's true or false.
I mean, that would leave. Oh, I'm like, you're either withholding a very specific piece of information. Can you reread the first one for me? I don't think I'm going to get this.
In the X-Men, Spike has the ability to be spiky. Not really much else. Don't give him a hug.
I'm going to say number one because Spike is not part of the X-Men.
Let me say that in the X-Men universe, I should say. He is a mutant.
Oh my god. I'm still going to go with number one because I have no idea.
Brother, that is incorrect. Item number 3 is incorrect because specifically Polka Dot Man does not gain his abilities from the particle accelerator. He gains his abilities from his really strange relationship with his mother because she experimented on him as a employee of Star Labs, but not as a result from the particle accelerator explosion. I believe it's a interdimensional virus that he gains his powers from.
I hate you.
Ooh, we swept him.
All right, well,
I was really sick of your 5-0.
All right, so I'm 5-3, you're 4-3, right?
Yes. God, I really need to bring this back or I'm going to feel really dumb.
Oh, man. All right, so lore, legends, or truth, truths, and a lie, we're going to talk about dreadnoughts again.
Uh-huh.
The Executor, manufactured by Sinar Systems, the Executor class Superstar Destroyer is the first of its kind, and despite its massive size and dominance over the battlefield, is defeated at the Battle of Endor when a rebel interceptor crashes into the bridge, taking out its command and control.
Okay, I feel good about what I know about that one.
Okay, the second one. After the Human Covenant War, the Infinity was commissioned as the first supercarrier of its kind, built using both Covenant and Forerunner technology, and even became a forward operating base for a detachment of Spartans. The third one, Gilliman's flagship, the Gloriana-class battlecruiser, the McCragg's Honor, is over 10,000 years old, being constructed during the time of the Great Crusade, and played a critical role when the word-bearers revealed their betrayal at the Battle of McCragg, leading to the despoiling of that system's sun.
The answer is number 3 because it's not the Battle of McCragg, it's the Battle of Calth that despoils the sun, not McCragg.
You are 100% correct. We are now tied.
Let's go! I got it! Let's go! Let's go!
Good job, dude.
Got him! Oh, dude. So we are both 5-3. Oh my god, twins doing the same on trivia. Wow.
Gosh dang it.
I feel
we need to get
mean
through
about the difficulty of my questions, but also I'm like, no, you absolutely roasted me in last week's episode, so no.
That's fair. I'm actually going to preempt some of the comments on one of mine. I think I wrote that the Executor was built by Sinar Systems. That's actually not true. I wrote that thinking that was going to be the thing I wrote wrong, and then I left it half written.
Oh,
and then
okay.
I actually rewrote that entire question like 2 or 3 times, but I left in the bit about Sinar Systems. I believe it was built by, or at least it was built at the Kuwait.
The Kuwait shipyards. See, that's the thing. I didn't know if that was the company, but I was like, dude, I'm not going to take a gamble on the guess when I felt very confident about the Calth answer. So I've rewritten questions like that before too. Absolutely. All right, brother, what's up next for us? This is going to be a long ass episode.
It is. That's correct. I did actually have 2 incorrect things in that last one. So I read it and I was like, I just have to deal with this. Like if he says 1 or 3, I'm totally screwed. But you actually got the thing I meant to be wrong about that. So good job.
I'm so good.
We're gonna talk about nerddom news really quick because
fast.
This is a long episode. Okay, so Arc Raiders put out a new roadmap. You guys need to check that out. The guys over on our Patreon server, we're already talking all about it. The first wave of this patch is now live, including the Bird City update, which provides a bunch of like new rubber duck variants, which are incredibly valuable. I'm talking 1 or 2 or sometimes 3,000 credits per. Like they're very good, and you find them in the chimneys of Buried City. So
that's awesome.
Get to roof hopping. The second one is we actually got a Star Wars announcement for a game, and I feel like nobody's talking about it. They are in development of a Star Wars trading card game, and they've said basically nothing about it. I am hoping that this is going to be like a Marvel Rivals type game, or no, Marvel Snap, a Marvel Snap type game.
I would absolutely play the hell out of that.
Yeah, that's what I want out of it. We know nothing, and it's been over a month since it's been announced. It wasn't even announced at the Game Awards or anything, so it was completely overshadowed by Fate of the New Republic. So we'll be covering that as well once it comes out, so keep your ears peeled. So we might be getting an actually good Star Wars mobile game.
Yes.
There's a lot of them out there. They're all ass.
Most of them are so bad. Yeah, it's pretty bad. In other news, Helldivers 2 has hammers now. The Siegebreaker hammer is here in a trailer that also features a moment of hilarious friendly fire. Andrew, did you catch that at the very end of the trailer?
Yeah, they fire these massive variations on the EAT rocket launcher, and they just miss a pretty large target and kill each other.
Super
it's
funny.
Fun.
They know their audience. They're playing up to it. There's new explosives and cool things. The Siegebreaker in that has, if you hit a Hulk in its critical hit spot, shows you killing it, which is insane. But Helldivers has hammers. I'm excited to see all the goofy stuff that everybody gets up to. It's going to be great.
Yeah, they also have a belt-fed grenade launcher and what looks like a laser shotgun. Dude, I'm going to spend money.
The laser shotgun looks dope.
I love Arc Raiders a lot, and this Warbond looks so good. It makes me want to go back to Helldivers. Plus, they teased a new faction. At the very, very end, you see like a cinematic type moment where a character gets dragged away, and some people are theorizing that this is the Cyborgs, which is like an amalgamation of, I think, automaton technology mixed with actual human flesh, or they're just a different faction entirely from the first game that we haven't seen yet. So far, we have the automatons, the Illuminate, and the Tyranids, which is a lot. Tyranids. Oh, you're just tooling with me. Good. Okay. And then we have one more announcement for
this is so big. You gotta say it.
No, you gotta say it. I think. Go for it.
Brandon Sanderson finally signed a deal to send the Cosmere to Apple TV. Oh my God. And splooge. He has been
great.
He has said no so many times. I saw an interview of him the other day of him telling, like on Instagram or something, of just him explaining how many movie deals he has said no to because he's like, no, somebody has to do it right. That means somebody came to him and they pitched him, Brandon Sanderson, so well, our dear Brando Sando, and he said yes. That's huge.
That's huge. And the fact that he has been so discerning with the studio, I think is going to be really good for the viewers. It's kind of a running joke that Apple TV has really bad advertising, even though they have like some of the best shows on streaming right now.
Ted Lasso is one of the best comedies I've ever seen.
So I might have to actually buy this. I hate Apple as a company, so this will be like...
This is like poison in my veins.
It's
like taking a shot of Malort.
Just Malort straight to the gullet.
Straight to the dome. Guys, we're super excited about that. Thank you for sticking with us. We've been here for 76 minutes, so I'm going to outro us really quick. Huge thanks to all our patrons, Mike, Isaac, and David. You can support us by going over to Patreon.com/talkabouttatooine. Watch all our videos on YouTube and interact with them. If you got no monies, make sure to follow us on social media like The Rebellion. We are everywhere, and may the Force be with you.